Good morning, viewers from across the globe. Today is Thursday, July 30th. WTO Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is visiting Nigeria, revealed at a book launch in Abuja how Nigeria secured the landmark $30 billion Paris Club debt relief in 2005, crediting a deliberate and masterful communications strategy. And in entertainment, calls to boycott South African star Tyla's scheduled Lagos concert in December are intensifying after Nigerians on social media accused her of failing to condemn xenophobic attacks on Nigerians in South Africa. Let's dive in. I'm OjyOkpe, and this is what's trending. Now, before we dive deeper, let's see what you're talking about right now. We've been tracking conversations on X, Facebook, our YouTube live feed, and of course, Leke. And three stories are dominating your timelines this morning. Trending at number one, Senator Adams Oshiomhole has publicly called out Minister of Works David Umahi, accusing him of deliberate bias against Edo and Delta states in federal road infrastructure funding and demanding Senate intervention. Nigerians are reacting. Trending at number two, Lagos State Commissioner of Police is under fire after viral videos emerged showing him at the inauguration of a pro-Tinubu youth group, the City Boy Movement, with the NDC demanding his immediate suspension. And trending at number three, a 28-year-old widow identified as Tosin was locked out of her matrimonial home in Ikorodu, Lagos, just 8 days after her husband's death by her father-in-law, who was captured on camera, padlocking the gate. Nigerians are outraged. We have the details. Now, here is where you come in. Join the conversation. Use the hashtag What's Trending with OjyOkpe. Comment on our live feed and, of course, Leke. Tell me which of these stories matters most to you, because for the next hour, we're going into everything that has Nigeria and the rest of the world buzzing. But first, with just 16 days to the Osun governorship election, the secretary to the state government, Teslim Igbalaye, has been detained following a police raid on his Osogbo residence, with the state government crying foul. Let's watch.
In the last 2-3 days, over 86 people, members of our court party, has been arrested for no reasons. These people are arrested and brought by road to Abuja, and they have been detained here unnecessarily. We have met with the leadership of the police, and they cannot provide any explanation to us. There is no petition against them. These people have committed no offense. Nigeria is going down the drain. We cannot allow this to continue just because we are having election in Osun State. Today, having visited our people in detention, we discovered that 36 has been taken to Kefi, 14 has been taken to Kuje for no reason, for no single offense committed. This must not continue. Just now, I have just been informed that the SSG of Osun State has been arrested for no reason, because he was sensitizing his people about election. There's a need for Nigerian police to understand that this is government institution, and you cannot reduce government institution to partisan level in politics in election. There's a need for us to have a free, credible election. We must not destroy the reputation of this country.
Well, the Osun State Government is insisting that the SSG was never arrested, saying he voluntarily visited the Osun State Police Command to facilitate the release of party members and canvassers who were detained, accusing the police of raiding the SSG's residence afterwards without a search warrant. But the police say the operation was based on credible intelligence about a criminal gang, and that the items recovered at his residence, including 4.8 million naira in cash, voters' registers covering 15 wards, 2 PVCs, and a wanted murder suspect speak for themselves. The government, however, dismissed the 4.8 million naira as logistics money for party canvassers and not vote-buying funds, saying the voters' registers were dummy ballot papers used for training party agents and that the PVCs belonged to individual canvassers as proof of voter registration. Now the government is calling on the Inspector General of Police to investigate the Osun State Commissioner of Police for alleged partisanship. Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai. Dr. Abati, I'll come straight to you on this Osun election story.
This is about the third or fourth time
Correct.
That the Osun State Government has been calling on the Inspector General of Police to do something about his Commissioner of Police in Osun State. This Commissioner of Police has been accused of looking the other way when agents of other political parties are involved in open thuggery and disruption of law and order, either in Osogbo, the capital city, or in other parts. Now, two different occasions. On the third occasion, it was when the Inspector General of Police himself personally visited Osun State. And on that occasion, during the encounter with the governor of Osun State, he told the governor that, in fact, the report from his police commissioner is that the government house of Osun State had been turned into a den for criminals, and that the governor was harboring criminals in government house. Okay, upon which the governor told the Inspector General of Police that even if it's his own child that is involved, that child should be arrested. I don't know whether the governor went a step further and opened every room in government house for the Inspector General of Police to inspect. Now, later, during that visit of the Inspector General of Police, this same police commissioner organized some partisan persons to come and speak with the Inspector General of Police, and they merely repeated the same thing that the Commissioner of Police has said. I think that, there are a lot of doubts about the performance of the police in Osun State ahead of the August 15 election. My own impression is that the police in that state, as led by the Commissioner of Police, is already compromised and is perhaps complicit in the kind of reports of thuggery and brigandage that we have been having from Osun State. Now, this is my point. The Inspector General of Police has been saying that the police must be professional in every election situation. We don't seem to be getting reports of enough professionalism from Osun State. It was government house that they said was harboring criminals. Now, they are saying that the criminals have moved from the governor's custody. They've moved to Pelumi Olajengbesi's house. In other words, they have identified only a court party, one party, as the one harboring criminals. Meanwhile, nobody is talking about other political parties. So this looks like, profiling, targeting, persecution, victimization. And I think that the police should be very neutral in this matter. And it is not too late for the Inspector General of Police to wade into this matter and create the impression of neutrality by making necessary changes. Otherwise, people are going to hang on to this, whatever the outcome is at the end of the day, and claim that there was no free playing field in the Osun gubernatorial elections of 2026 August.
All right.
15.
With due respect, I want to make that claim in advance that there's no clear and plain playing field in the Osun elections. And you see, my dear Egbon Tuji Dishu, the Inspector General of Police, is my Egbon that I respect so much. But when he went there, he didn't do anything. It was just allegations and counter-allegations. And I love my Egbon, IG, so much. I've got nothing against it. But on this Osun election, I don't agree with his disposition when he went there, because nothing was done. It was just you are harboring people here and everything. Since he left, there was not any reduction in all of this. In fact, what we have seen is vandalism. Then we had the case in Oduotin, where PVCs were carted away and all sorts of things. Then we've been having a lot of political back and forth. I want to make the following claims about this election. And I pray INEC will prove me wrong. Number one, I don't trust INEC in this election. And it's not only me that doesn't trust INEC. Yaga Africa released a report, only 45% trust them. Maybe I'm not part of the 45% that trust them. Secondly, state might is being used. And this brings to bear the conversation about state police, how people will use it, because we can see how federal police is even being used. Thirdly, it will be a miracle for Adeleke if he survives all of this and he comes back as governor. The three things. Fourthly, I don't see any level of free or fair elections that will happen. The fifth point is that you Osun people, you know your choice, you know whoever you want to vote for. Please come out en masse. Defy anybody that wants to stop you from coming out. And I just hope the police authority will stop any threat of violence on that day, because if people want to suppress votes, they use all sorts of violence. The seventh point is, please, political parties man the coalition centers very well, because we have seen in other elections how they use the coalition center to change the course of an election. It is sad that this is how democracy is being practiced in 2026 in Nigeria.
All right. Very well said. Well, you know, the SSG is still detained at this moment. I believe it's a bailable offense or whatever it is that they have detained him for.
They might keep him after the elections.
But we have raised the alarm at this point, and you know, the state's commissioner of police has been called into question at this point. Again, they're calling on the Inspector General of Police to do the needful at this point. And reactions continue to trail remarks made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during his meeting with Catholic bishops at the State House on Tuesday. One viral statement that has dominated the conversation online was when he defended his administration against criticism over economic hardship, saying he inherited the assets and liabilities of his predecessor, and insisting that before he was born, there was hunger in Nigeria. Let's take a look.
I inherited the asset and liability of my predecessor. I so did. And I have been running with it. But this government has stabilized and there's prosperity on the horizon. The quality of life is improving. Yes, before I was born, there was a hunger in this country. And I have no control of the population development of Nigeria, trajectory. And that is why you have membership in your various faiths and churches, to give hope to people and give commitment to humanity and the true sense of it.
All right, Ayo, Nigerians are divided. Some agreeing that hunger and population growth are structural challenges no president can fix overnight. Others pointing out that fuel subsidy removal and naira devaluation have significantly worsened food costs under this administration. And I'll take some reactions on X before I come to you. Bruno wrote, inheriting past challenges is literally part of the job description of a president. Is there actually any government that succeeds without assets and liabilities? We need real solutions instead of endless reminders of the previous administration's mess by the president. Another ex-user, Legal, wrote, he made a quite striking comment about having no control of the population development trajectory of Nigeria. Asiwaju, conduct a census to know how many people are in the country, then plan accordingly. Why plan accordingly? It is important to know the percentage increase of the general population of Nigeria, the eligible voters, the unemployed, underemployed people, the elders, etc. Humans are the greatest assets of a nation. Planning the economy based on estimated population shows unseriousness. If the population is growing at a fast pace, as most analysts are projecting, what can you as the president do? Nothing. It's too sensitive to touch, but at least speak up. Be proactive. You know, I actually like that tweet about, you know, census and the planning, because this is one of the issues that we have in Nigeria.
Yes.
We do not have that database, the census database. And this is the, you know, the sort of conversation we should begin to have, even, you know, towards the lead up to the election. We're talking about, how many voters are there, what is the actual population of Nigeria, but also the question about how do you plan for an economy? We've seen the economics or even this administration talking about this $1 trillion economy as well. Your thoughts? So how do we get
on that? Yes. Let me just say that I think it's important for us to hear views like this so that we can really understand the thought process, the ideology of this administration. Unfortunately, the president has not presented himself for a proper interview where we can interrogate certain things. Even before he became president, he did not submit himself for a debate to help to analyze, interrogate some of the ideas that he had for Nigeria. Even when he went to Chatham House, he wasn't able to articulate what he had planned for Nigerians. Instead, he relied on teamship, calling on members of his team to respond to questions that were on the minds of many Nigerians. So to be fair, Nigerians don't actually have a clear idea of the plans and directions of the president based on his views. But when he comes out to speak like this, then we have an idea. And what was going through my mind when he was speaking about hunger has been there before he was born and doesn't have a control of population numbers, I thought, wow, this is it. We are in a critical situation. If the president can speak like this concerning the country, it reminds me of what one of his spokespersons said, Daniel Bwala, when he was saying that, the poor people will always be around, that's why the church has poor people, making a justification for the levels of poverty. And when you hear justifications and excuses like this from leadership, that it means that there is no plan or there is no thought as to how to get to understanding the issues and how to get Nigerians out of this terrible situation we find ourselves. Talking about numbers, I don't know how any government is able to plan without data. And so what we have is estimations and vibes. How it's feeling is almost, like how you go and check, let me see the forecast. You have no critical data to analyze and dimension the real issues. How can you talk about population control if you do not even understand the population, the rate of growth of population in Nigeria? You cannot give us that. The last administration, which the president said he inherited, had planned, had started conversations around a population census. They said they were not going to do it. They were going to leave it for the next administration to do. Since the last 3.5 years that President Tinubu has come into office, there's been no talks around population census. So we are still effectively planning in the dark. What happens with that is that it does not inspire confidence that we know where we are going as a nation, whether economically, whether planning for the most vulnerable, whether planning for poor people, whether the plans to make lives better for the poor. And that is a worrying situation. What I would suggest as I close is this. The president needs to give us numbers, data on how these policy reforms is talked about, especially the unification of the exchange rate and just final point, unification of exchange rate and the removal of fuel subsidy. To what extent these savings has contributed to more money in the pockets of the ordinary Nigerian? Actual data. Number two, jobs that have been created. What are the numbers of jobs that have been created? Not just estimations, not just vibes, but how many jobs have been created by this administration? Right. Just simple things like that, and not give excuses that any leader should not be making to his people.
All right, we have to move, Dr. Abati. One sentence,
please. It's unfortunate when the president says, hunger has been existent since even before he was born. Now, that, rubbishes this commitment, even by his own government, to agriculture as a primary responsibility and a primary target of government. Every government in Nigeria has always said agriculture, should be major focus to create jobs and to make sure that no child goes to bed hungry in Nigeria. It's like the president saying agriculture is not important. If people want to go to bed hungry, they can go to bed hungry because it's a fact of life, which has been there since he was born or before he was born. The second thing is planning without data. Planning without data is one of the major challenges in the development process. The international rule is that population census should be conducted every 10 years. The last time Nigeria conducted population census was 2006, 20 years ago. But over the years, we've been budgeting for the National Population Commission. They will say they are doing birth and death registration census. At the end of the day, every government will say, we are planning for census. Money will be budgeted. Nothing will happen at the end of the day. So we're just planning in the dark.
All right.
And that, does not show that we're committed to the development process.
Okay, Rufai.
My comment on this matter is, let the poor breathe. Don't suffocate them.
That is the president's statement, Rufai. It's not your statement. Did you borrow it? Where did you borrow it from? Well, all right. Okay, well, thank you all for your submission. Insecurity news. We have a harrowing report from Sokoto State, where terrorists carried out a devastating overnight attack in Sabon local government area of the state, killing at least 7 people, including 3 worshippers, shot dead inside a mosque. The attackers arrived in large numbers at approximately 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday, spending over 6 hours terrorizing residents, looting and burning shops, and firing indiscriminately until 3 a.m. Now, may their souls rest in peace. These were Muslim worshippers killed inside a mosque. This attack in Sokoto and the attacks in Plateau and Kaduna further demonstrates that terrorists do not discriminate by faith. They kill anyone in their path. And Nigeria must confront this reality with urgency and unity. Again, may their souls rest in peace. I mean, this was one story that I saw that broke my heart, Ayo. We are continuing to cover these sort of insecurity stories almost every day. Really, really hard to take in. Well, all right, let's head over now to the Federal Capital Territory, where Minister Nyesom Wike has declared that Governor Sim Fubara committed absolutely no wrongdoing by returning to his political camp, insisting that he had no other choice. Wike made these comments while speaking to journalists in Abuja on Tuesday after inspecting road projects. Let's take a look.
I don't know what you mean by sin. I don't know what you mean by sin. If a man we did not try to look good for him, that you must follow this charter, don't follow that charter. Of course, you make mistakes. And what's important that you realize that you have made a mistake and you correct them. That's what's important. It's only like it's only God that forgives sin. In politics, there's no sin. Just for you to realize that, look, I don't think I am taking the right step. He has made it to the public to say that he has come back to where he started from. Receive him with all good minds, nothing to hide. We all work together to make sure that we give Mr. President the required votes to continue. That's why we're here.
All right. Some users online are saying that Wike is reminding everyone who holds the upper hand in River State. And for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this reunion delivers one of the country's most strategically important states firmly into his 2027 column.
I like that. You see, Fubara is a simple man. It's a good man. It's a simple man.
Peaceful. Most important.
It's a very peaceful man. It's just that till today we don't know what happened to the River State House of Assembly that went up in fire. I think they're building that one again. So he's a very simple man. How will Wike not be happy? Because he had an easy political adversary in Sim Fubara. The reason why people like me defended Sim Fubara then is because, and I quote, the likes of Nyesom Wike fought against political godfatherism. That's why people like me still defended Governor earlier when that political godfatherism thing was rearing its ugly head against Akume. And I will always defend people that try to stand against political godfatherism because we have seen where it has left this country. There are some states today in this country that some people are controlling their purse because of political godfathering. Those states will never be able to break free. And Nyesom Wike, he fought it that time. He fought against it. We know the battles he fought against his predecessor then, and we supported him. Even when we were not analyzed then, on other local platforms where we were on radio and the like, we supported him then because it is not a good one for democracy. So now that he has asserted himself as a political godfather, how will he not say Sim has committed no sin? Can he say Sim has committed no sin when they were having agreements?
Agreement is
agreement, yo. He don't reach it for settlement. You can't determine. If you go follow Tinubu, no follow corner. Similar, they tell you something. It's not. I don't blame Mr. Wike. It's Mr. Similar, I blame.
All right.
That couldn't stand his ground. What was the worst they were doing? Impeach you. Is that the end of the world?
All right.
Are you the first governor they were going to impeach?
But now he's not impeached and he's in the camp and he's still in politics.
But what is happening to him is worse than impeachment. It's Bewudani. You know when you are there, you are a lame duck. You can't do anything. You are powerless. You are pressing your remote control from Abuja. It's worse than being alive. There's no point of living if you can't feel alive. Sim is in that position today. Where you are a governor, you are powerless, you will depend on whatever Wike says. He's the one controlling you. He's got all the political architecture. Now, what are they doing in Rivers State? They are doing collabo. Almost all the political parties, no APC, PDP, they are doing collabo and they are happy and they are calling that democracy. It's a shame to democracy. People like us will be speaking against Godfather.
You want to say something,
okay,
Dr.
We've commented on this before, but now that the Godfather has spoken, I think that we do not need any long, addition. Nyesom Wike, the Godfather of Rivers State politics, has now spoken to say that Sim Fubara has done what is good for him. He has returned to the political family, the Rainbow Coalition, and he is welcome. Now, there is a book by Otumba J.K. Rando, Bashorun J.K. Rando. They keep changing these titles. So sometimes it's Otumba, sometimes it's Bashorun. Title, The Godfather Never Sleeps. What Nyesom Wike is to have has done is just to confirm that political metaphor, that the Godfather does not yield political control, especially in Nigerian politics. We may complain forever that we don't want Godfatherism, but we've just been reminded again now that Godfatherism remains very potent.
All right.
I repeat the point I made before, that Nyesom Wike has also proven that he's a good judge of human character, particularly when it comes to political control.
Okay.
He said he was the one that made made the Sim Fubara governor,
yes.
that he bought the form.
Yes.
He campaigned on his behalf.
Yes.
He handed him over to the people of Rivers State. Could he have been governor without Nyesom Wike? So he gave him a boy appointment. And he has reminded him that he remains a boy to Nyesom Wike. This is the unfortunate reality that the people of Rivers State are facing.
But boy means servant. That's it. Servant. What the story of Elaine? Why are you people talking about? Boy means servant. Errand boy. Okay.
That he can control as he wishes.
Sim Fubara, the errand boy. He's a governor.
This is the point.
All right. Okay. Still in Abuja. Some residents are hailing Minister Nyesom Wike, saying he has turned Abuja into Paris. Popular content creator Mr. Jollof also took to social media to share his excitement. Let's take a look.
With Abuja, Nigeria, just like when you go France, Paris, you go take picture for FCT. At this be our own FCT. So beautiful. Wike, our FCT Minister, God will bless you. You do well. Because different walks of life, different religions, different tribes, everybody they know here, they come from nets. This is so beautiful.
En bois je fais plus le malin, mais rajoute du chien par ruina. Bébé, où t'es? Ce soir je suis pas là pour vivre.
Ayo, our FL Tower. FL Tower. Yes. No, I never said I just repeated what he said. I mean, it's the Eiffel Tower, by the way. We're talking about the Eiffel Tower. I just wanted to be sure of what we were talking about. But you cannot fault Minister Godfather Nyesom Wike. Cannot fault him on infrastructure. Yeah. That one he has completely achieved. Yes, would you like to visit the Eiffel Tower?
Oh yes, Eiffel.
I know. No, I said Eiffel Tower.
I don't want to go to Eiffel Tower. It's Eiffel Tower.
Mona my guy. Mona Jollof. I'm gonna stop him.
Yes.
Stop him.
No, there's nothing wrong. Nobody said anything. No. There's nothing wrong with it.
Let nobody go and book me ticket to Eiffel Tower.
No, I said Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, thank you.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. Thank you.
Well, all right. Oh, we say kudos on Governor. Well, I keep calling him Governor. He's Governor of Rivers. Minister Nyesom Wike. Well, more on infrastructure projects. Edo State Senator Adams Oshiomhole has publicly called out Minister of Works David Umahi, accusing him of a deliberate bias against Edo and Delta states in the allocation of federal road infrastructure funding and demanding that the Senate intervenes to compel the minister to adopt a more balanced approach. Speaking during plenary, in a clip being circulated on Wednesday, Oshiomhole painted a damning picture of the state of the federal roads in his region. Let's take a look.
I think the Federal Minister of Works need to be guided. Because whereas we have all these old roads that are in bad shape, he proposes the construction of new roads when existing roads are not there. Because 3 weeks ago, I understand 20 new roads were approved. Yet, sir, between Edo and Delta, there is manifest bias by the Minister of Works. You cannot go to Warri and you are here, Senator Dafinoni. You can't go to Warri from Benin. You can't go to Asaba from Benin. You can't go to Auchi from Benin. You can't go from Auchi to Okene from Benin. What have we done wrong? I think the minister has shown consistently there is no federal allocation. It is Mr. President goodwill. Mr. President goodwill that he directed that they should use tax credit to deal with part of this section. Otherwise, all the budget over the past 3 years, in spite of the first motion under your leadership that was moved to draw his attention, the Federal Minister of Works has failed deliberately to include that portion bordering Delta and Edo in the national budget.
Well, the South has long felt shortchanged on federal infrastructure despite being the region that produces the oil revenue that funds the national budget. And Oshiomhole is giving voice to a frustration that runs very deep. Online, some have echoed Oshiomhole's sentiment, saying this oversight demands a public explanation. Well, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, has fired back, insisting that Edo State is far from being neglected, pointing to the Lokoja Benin Warri Road, a 360-kilometer dual carriageway with over 10 contractors currently on site, which President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has just directed to be rescoped under a faster funding model for accelerated completion. Umahi also noted that Edo State hosts 100 kilometers of the 750-kilometer Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, declaring no section of the country is neglected by President Tinubu's administration in infrastructure development. Now, two powerful men, two very different accounts of what is happening in Edo and Delta roads. Oshiomhole speaks from the frustration of constituents stuck on federal roads in disrepair. Umahi responds with contracts and kilometers. But for the average Edo or Delta resident, the question is not how many contractors are on the road. It is whether that road is drivable today. The Senate has been called to intervene, and of course, Nigerians are watching. Yes, please.
Sorry, that last part of Engineer David Umahi's statement actually justifies gives credence to what Senator Oshiomhole said, where he said that, the Lagos Coastal Road. Part of what Senator Oshiomhole had said was that you are building new roads, yet not fixing existing roads. Yeah. And so, instead of, and one of the things that you applaud the Minister for Works is that he responds. Instead of being defensive, he's speaking on behalf of his constituents. And this is what we call for representation. He's going to defend the cause and the plight of his people. Are the roads bad? Absolutely. Yeah. Gone are the days where you could easily travel from Benin to Warri, or go from Delta State to Edo State seamlessly. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 45 minutes trips, you would make it because the roads were smoother. And so what he's saying is that there are roads that are dilapidated in his constituency, amongst his people. Fix those roads before you even begin to allocate resources to new roads. Because if you don't maintain, we have a maintenance culture challenge in Nigeria. If you don't maintain the older roads, the same fate will befall even the newer roads that you are investing in these areas. So I think it's important. What Senator Oshiomhole has said is spot on. And I do even believe that other senators ought to borrow a leaf from that. You are the voice of the people. You are the representative of the people that are in your constituents. And so what bothers them across all levels should be brought to the attention of relative ministries. And what the ministries should do is address this. And I feel that we should even have a portal where people can actually take pictures, send them to the minister. You cannot achieve everything in one day. But at least let there be progress. Let there be responses. We need to have a better mechanism for responding to criticisms or even complaints or feedback. It doesn't always have to be an attack. It is, okay, this has happened, we'll investigate this. And where possible, we'll repair those roads because they are federal roads.
So my point is this, yes. This back and forth between these two men, has he fixed the road? No. The Minister of Works, please go and fix that road. But another point I even want to make is, you see, when we start having all these development commissions, I say they are a drain pipe. NDDC, why is that NDDC has not been able to do any palliative work on that road? They might not be able to own that project fully because, it's a federal road. But it falls within the Niger Delta. What can be done? So when we have all this, government president that get first line charge and all of that, what are the projects they also do? This road, Oji, has been there for so many years. It started to get bad. I used to apply this route a lot because when I was working in Warrior, I was working on GFM radio. I used to go to Benin most weekends. At some point, we had a radio station in and around Adeje. We applied through this road. We started to see problems around it then. But today, it is crazy. You get to the Ogara area, you get to all of that area, you are shell-shocked at how the state of road is. So please, I just hope this banter between the two will fix the road. But what about people like NDDC?
All right.
That they are also getting subvention and everything. Can they at least do palliatives on this road?
All right, that's a good point. NDDC, Minister of Works, this is our roads, Delta and Edo State, so both of us. But, I'm sure that there will be more to this because, we've been seeing the back and forth, especially with Adams Oshiomhole now coming out to speak. I mean, those roads have been bad for a while. The question is, why are you speaking? How is it that you're speaking at this point? But meanwhile, new reports are circulating online about a group of people getting arrested for deliberately destroying parts of the new Abuja-Kaduna highway to steal the iron rods inside. In a clip that surfaced this week, a man shows how the sides of the road are now exposed due to this rampant iron rod theft. Let's take a look.
Gaskiya wannan abun bai kamata ba yanzu ku duba ku ga anan wuraren ku duba ku ga yanda aka zo aka buge rodin nan aka balle shi kuna da gani gaskiya abun ni bai mun dadi ba duk da ne wannan abun an samu ya aka yi ne an dan rufe asiri ne sai aka yi shi amma dan Allah dan annabi mutane me ya kamata a ce ku da aka yi muku hanya na amma kun zo kuna irin wannan lalata hanya haka.
Dr. Bati, the Abuja-Kaduna highway is not just any road. It is one of the most critical and heavily traveled corridors in the entire country, linking the Federal Capital Territory to the north and serving millions of Nigerians daily. To deliberately destroy the structural integrity of that road in search of scrap metal is a public safety crime that could result to fatal accidents, vehicle damage, and road collapse affecting innocent commuters who have nothing to do with the criminals responsible. I know that there was a response for this sort of, damage on a road by the presidency, I believe, a couple of months ago, whether he said shoot on sight or shoot at sight. I mean, this is quite the annoying problem that these criminals are causing on our roads. Your thoughts?
Well, nobody should be shot on sight.
Yes, I remember that story because you can imagine how that statement came across.
That will amount to an abuse of power, jungle justice, extrajudicial killing. So nobody should be shot on sight. However, citizenship is about rights and responsibilities. Nigerians say we want good roads, we want good infrastructure and all of that. But have you not noticed that it is these same Nigerians who are very quick to destroy the infrastructure when it is provided for their own use and comfort? when government provides street lights, it's these same Nigerians that will go and steal the bulbs. When government repairs roads, it is these same Nigerians that will go and deliberately dig a hole, a big hole, and then they will erect a checkpoint and start collecting money from people. Rail lines, when rail lines were laid, it is these same Nigerians who were removing the
slippers,
the rails to go and use to do some to manufacture certain things. Third Mainland Bridge here in Lagos, not far from where we are seated. When that road was fixed and everybody was saying this is beautiful, Nigerians did not allow that Third Mainland Bridge to be in a good state for up to 1 month before they started vandalizing it. Now that is sabotage. And this is why a body like civil defense exists. There's a unit in civil defense whose responsibility is to protect public infrastructure. I think vigilance should be further enhanced to make sure that individuals who sabotage public infrastructure are arrested, apprehended, and made to face the full wrath of the law. And then there's also something called citizen action. Average Nigerians also have to protect what government has provided for them. See something, say something. If you see somebody destroying public property, you also have an obligation to, engage in citizen action, apprehend the person, or call the authorities immediately to say that this is a saboteur. Yes. This is an unpatriotic element. Because governance is not just about government. It's also about the people. How you protect your government.
Say something. Well, all right. The Nigeria Democratic Congress is demanding the immediate suspension of Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Tijani Fatai, after viral videos emerged showing him attending the inauguration of the City Boy Movement, a pro-Tinubu youth mobilization group. The event, held in Ikeja on Tuesday, was attended by APC political leaders, and the NDC says the CP's presence there is proof of partisanship. Let's take a look.
The CP, Tijani Fatai and his entourage, and please, we welcome them.
Very well, very well.
NDC is calling for his immediate suspension, saying that this is partisanship. Your thoughts, really quickly.
Oji, I'm sorry, with due respect, NDC is wasting their time. You know me, I'm brutally very honest. And what was the song they were singing? Olopa Abegisa. Olopa Abegisa. NDC, you're wasting their time. Let me remind the NDC people to show you how warped our democracy is. In the last election cycle, a popular NURTW person said all sorts of things against a certain tribal group in Lagos. When he said it, he doubled down by bringing out a video of a woman that he said they had good neighborly relations, Mama Chinedu, Mama Nkeshi, or anything. When we interviewed police people here, didn't they come in defense of the man? So it's not, what did he say? He didn't mean it. That was what the police said. Thank God you remember, so that it's not going to be only me. You know, personal recollections might differ. That's why I keep asking you people as evidence. So you remember that we interviewed police people and they defended MC Oluomo then by saying he didn't mean it. So NDC is now writing that they should remove, and is it today we know they are in bed? Is it today we know that they are in bed? NDC, please, nothing will happen. The man will oversee the elections. The elections will go on. There will be cases of intimidation and everything. As regards this case, police will look the other way. So let's stop deceiving ourselves. We are already in anti-war already, anti-war girl. So all of this you people are saying, we are anti-war girl. We have entered it already. It means that all this you have just saying is just for reference and record purposes. It happened in 2023. The police was the one defending when they said that thing against the tribal group. So don't be surprised. In fact, now they are not so bold that they come out in open and say,
Dr. Bati, only 30 seconds because we want to do the
I want to
milestone.
play the devil's advocate.
Yes, please.
Now, we have made the point earlier on that the police should be neutral, should be professional. But in this case, CP Fatai, a policeman wearing police uniform. Now, it's not impossible that the City Boy movement, they will have written to the police about their event to ask for protection. And if you look at the police commissioner there, he's not going there alone. He's leading a team. You can see a number of pot-bellied policemen also following him. Suppose the commissioner of police is on duty, because it's not just in this instance. There were other occasions when he came out personally himself to lead his team, either to provide protection for protesters or under circumstances. He's not a police commissioner who likes to sit in the office. So suppose he was on duty to ensure law and order at a public event, whether a City Boy or another group, then of course you cannot jump to the conclusion and say he's there for partisan reasons.
So please,
he's a policeman
with due respect, NDC Lagos. Also, you have your event and invite the commissioner of police.
No, for the optics. For the optics. Okay. Either he does not have enough work to do, that he's going around shaking hands. Dr. Bati, if he were not wearing the uniform, he could have been one of the people. He was shaking hands, doing like this. Is that protection?
Walking like the police. I beg you.
If you are there to provide protection, are you supposed to be quarreling with the people?
No, what if his family member is part of the group? That's a problem.
We have also asked. We have also asked
to protect.
We also asked the NDC in Lagos. Have your own event and invite him. Let's see if he's going to come.
And he must shake them like
this.
NDC also has the right to ask for police protection.
No, invite him, not
at a public event. And they have a right to ask for suspension as well. It's a free country, freedom of speech. Now under milestone.
No, you are speculating.
I know, we are speculating.
Can we move on?
Go ahead, Oji.
Thank you. Now under milestones. July 29th marks 60 years since one of the darkest and most consequential nights in Nigeria's history, the assassination of Major General Johnson Aguiyi-Ironsi, the nation's first military head of state. Well, Aguiyi-Ironsi was born on the 3rd of March 1942 and rose through the ranks of the Nigerian military to become one of the most distinguished officers the nation had ever produced. He assumed the position of military head of state in January 1966. His tenure lasted just 6 months when a counter-coup led by northern military officers, among them Murtala Mohammed, resulted in his abduction and assassination in Ibadan at just 42 years old. To mark his 60th memorial anniversary, his family and Abia State Governor Alex Oti gathered to lay wreath by his graveside at the Aguiyi-Ironsi Conference Center in Umuahia. Well, 60 years later, and the questions that surround the life and death of Major General Aguiyi-Ironsi have never fully been resolved, setting Nigeria on a trajectory that the country is still navigating today. He deserves to be remembered not as a footnote in a coup, but as a man who tried to hold a young, fragile nation together at its most dangerous hour and paid for it with his life. May his soul continue to rest in peace. We'll take our final story now under entertainment. From London, highlighting high life musician Flavour Nnabania, who has just released a stunning orchestral project titled Flavor Orchestrated, featuring reimagined versions of his beloved classics Ada Ada, Golibe, Virtuous Woman, and Game Changer, performed live with the London Performing Orchestra. And in what has become the most talked about visual moment, every orchestra member added a unique piece of Ankara fabric to their formal black outfits, while Flavor performed in full traditional Igbo attire. Let's take a look.
Have you seen my beautiful baby? Have you seen my tomato baby? Oh, yele, baby, suffer de kulu mi temper. Ada, baby, na sugar, yo. Everybody they wait. Utakene no bo. If I dem mama ka, better soup na money killer mo. Ada mangwa pekem ya. Ada. Ada, yo go. Ada, need your man. Everybody be wait. Put up and no ball. If I leave mama car, better soup na money kill a more. Ada, the lion is here. Sabu, when body.
All right, Igbo Amaka Flavor Nabanya has taken Igbo High Life, placed it in the hands of a London orchestra, and the result is nothing short of breathtaking. Congratulations, Flavor, on making Nigeria proud. I mean, this is the sort of stories that I love to see. I love that infusion. I can't really hear. Is that what you're playing? Well, all right. On that note, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. Here, we have that special rendition of Game Changer from Flavor, also performed alongside the London Orchestra. Enjoy it, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Sabu,